Alrighty then, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. And on the Ramsey Show today, there were, I think, no less than three, maybe four calls from Ohio. And a lot of the callers were nutty, doing nutty stuff, as you might imagine, like debt and so forth. You're again watching Ramsey Show After Show, and I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And for my financial content, just scroll down on my page. It's of course youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And right below the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. And today is show number 590. So been doing it a minute. Answering your financial questions stream. That's the 8 p.m. stream, and I do those on the weekends and some nights when I can't do an after show that morning. What up, Crumb? Does Ohio need its own call-in line? There seem to be quite a lot of Ohio calls, for sure. There's also the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, including How to Do the Baby Steps Right, because nobody does them correctly. Well, I wouldn't say nobody, but that's a little exag. My bad. But people just don't want to do them. Even if they're trying to follow the baby steps, they try to fit their life into the baby steps rather than changing what they do to fit the baby steps. So, because people are nutty. Hey, how about a market report? Oh, and I was on the NASDAQ earlier because some guy in the chat, the Ramsey Show chat, was talking about, oh, they didn't give the right advice because they're talking about 30% gains this year. And it doesn't make that much average. I said they said this year, and of course the NASDAQ, as you can see over the past year, 26.29%, which means, of course, a good managed large cap fund would make 30. And so that could easily happen. And basically, it was a caller that had money in bonds and freaking CDs instead of investing it because he was scared of it. And so, a younger person as well got his conservative ways from his grandfather, and I get all that, but how about we have a little bit more money for retirement? How about we make a little bit more in the market? It's not like it's, let's just look to see what the S&P 500 did, but that's only 16.77. Yeah, the NASDAQ, and so that's why I don't know why people just do the S&P 500. Why would you do that? You can make almost twice as much if you do the NASDAQ index. You're so dumb. Leaving money on the table. And of course, managed funds, again, make even more than the NASDAQ index. Just got to look for a minute to find them. Everything up except for the Russell Small Cap Index. S&P 500, NASDAQ subdued after rally. But I don't think they had a down day, did they? Oh, maybe they did. That is, oh yeah, that's today, all today, right? Yeah, the 22nd. Okay. So yeah, all of this is the one day. Dear Steve. And so I guess it opened below what it was The dotted horizontal line is the close from Friday. And as you can see, it's up above that. So this is what we call a new high again today. So as long as it holds, it could, by the end of the day, who knows what will happen. Somebody will sneeze in Congress and there'll be a massive sell-off or something like that. All right, and so yeah, I just had that up, so I thought I would talk about that. But let's go to the main page. There we are, and see what the rest of the planet's doing. Only FTSE up in the Europe. What about the Asia? Mostly down as well. 3 out of 5 down. US dollar down to the euro, down to the yen, down to the British pound glove, up against the Canadian dollar, not sorry, and up against the Australian dollar, so the US dollar mixed today, and I'll take that and the positive, except for the small cap index. I'll take that as a good day for the market. What up, Sid? Micron Technology reporting tomorrow. Accenture reporting on the 25th, which would be Thursday. Figured it out. Not today, dementia. Google down. Apple up 3.63%. They have had issues, I believe. They've been down some. Not that bad. Coming back to hit that previous high for Apple. So, all right, but they have had some down days, and so they're up pretty big at the moment. Microsoft down by a little bit, Alphabet down by a little bit again, 0.32 and 0.52 respectively. 0.82 down is Amazon, and the Tesla up 3.58, and Meta, artist formerly known as Facebook, up 0.15%. And let's see where Tesla is. Just curious on their oh, they may be going to a new high too. I think that's a high. Let's go to max just in case. Yeah, that's interesting. How long between their two peaks? That one is, as I look around my webcam, December 20th, 2024. And this peak is November 5th, 2021. So a little over 3 years difference between that. Took 3 years going down and coming back up, but did go to a new high, and so now it's getting back up there again. So I mean, you can't complain. I mean, I guess you could complain about whatever you wanted to complain about. Let's see what the headlines are. Nasdaq turn higher. Dow S&P 500, Nasdaq turn higher. Oh, I didn't check the Dow. That's barely up, but that I believe will be a new high again for the Dow too today if it stays positive. Michelob Ultra dethrones Modelo Especial, Spanish, to become America's new top-selling beer brand. Modelo was the top-selling beer brand. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think it was Budweiser, but then Budweiser thought they had to be activists. And they lost some market share. Imagine that. October Prime Day. Prime Day. Gotta buy stuff on Prime Day. You don't have to. It just fit in the song. China weaponized science against the U.S. I'm sure the U.S. military also weaponizes science and has in the past. We figured out a key element they missed. Great. I got a great idea. Don't put it in the news. Don't put it on Fox News or any other news so that they read about what they missed. Dumb. Yahoo Finance, Yahoo. Cryptocurrency sink is $1.5 billion in bullish bets wiped out. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, so I haven't really looked at the numbers for that in a long time. So I don't know what it is. I think it went way up, but I don't know how much it's lost. More Americans living in RVs as housing costs rise. That was a question the other day on the Ramsey show. Should selling the house or losing the house or something like that, somebody was, and asked, should we finance an RV to live in? And pretty sure the answer to that would be a nar. As far as doing that, co-CEOs to replace the CEO of Oracle, so the stock rises. Kitchen is full of microplastics, of course it is. Here's how to eat less of them. That wouldn't hurt to read, probably. Probably shouldn't be eating plastic if you can avoid it. Amazon faces trial in FTC. That would be Federal Trade Commission charges related to Prime service. Now what now? Why can't they have Prime service? So they charge you money and you get benefits for that. So it's a service program. Why? What's wrong with that? What's the problem with that? So I don't know why the government likes to get way too involved. Certainly there has to be regulations on things, or business people would gouge the heck out of people even more than they are now. But something like Amazon Prime, you really want to go after that? There's not something better you can go after? Where's NVIDIA? No NVIDIA? I guess not. What is it? NVDA, I think. NVDA. Yes, it is. How about that? Remembered it. Not today, dementia, down 0.73%. As the overall NASDAQ is still up 0.22%. Alrighty then. What do I have? A little story here. I was at the Kroger yesterday and saw this. Now this Hormel dill pickle flavored pepperoni, $4.29. If it was $4.29, I would not have bought it, but it was marked down to $1.54. So I was intrigued. So I figured I'll take a glance at that. And of course, it's just the pepperoni itself. It doesn't come with actual dill pickle pieces or the little bread things. So just the pepperoni itself, and it tasted like 4/5 dill pickle and 1/5 regular pepperoni. So, and it was fine. It wouldn't be something that I would seek out. And I probably wouldn't even buy it again. Like if I go in there next time and it's still, because it is just 5 ounces. So it's not that much, but if it was still 154, or no matter how much it is reduced down to, I probably wouldn't get it again. You know, not that great, but it's fine. It does taste like dill pickle and pepperoni. So I thought it was interesting. Aslan says, not sure you would get the pickle flavored pepperoni if it was free. I hear you. I'm in the same boat, but I just wanted to try it. Hopefully it didn't have any microplastics in it. Hopefully. Pickle is having a moment, is it? Yeah, the who had that? I think was it Sonic? Some fast food place had like everything, like you could put dill pickle in everything and like drinks and um they had special dill pickle burgers and so forth. Of course, on burgers, you get the like normally get the two pickles anyway. Or at the Chick-fil-A, and always ask for extra, which you could do. I don't know if you still can. It's been a while since I've gotten one from Chick-fil-A, but in the app you could have them put extra pickles on there, and they would put like two extra ones, I think. So you'd get like three instead of one, or something like that, or four instead of two, something like that. Nearly $1 an ounce for gimmick sausage. No, thank you. Yeah, yeah. When I think about that, I didn't really pay attention to the fact that it was only 5 ounces of it. So yeah, so they got me for it, but they only got me for $1.54. Um, I thought I scrolled down. I apologize. I thought I scrolled down. Maybe this is Dementia's day today. Yeah, Sonic has a big deal meal. Okay. It's been out of control. Great. Can't wait to get back up to that one. Um, boom, boom, boom. Dead assistance. Trying to think where I left off. We did this one last night on the Answering Your Financial Questions stream. That happened at 8 p.m. last night. Did one on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And normally I will do at least one of those days, Saturday or Sunday, but sometimes both. Does it have dozens of ingredients? Yes. Way, way too many ingredients. So, yeah. Asloon's cows had to weigh in this weekend. They weighed each between 470 and 510 pounds. Congratulations on that. Sid informs us that Chick-fil-A standard is 2 pickles. So, yeah, one would seem not enough for that. So, yeah, two seems good for that. And so if you ask for extra, I think they put like two additional ones on there. And it was free, but it wouldn't surprise me. Sonic used to have where they would put extra lettuce and pickles and something else on the burger that you could ask for free, but now they charge a little bit for that. So yeah, so that's the way it goes. We'd bring up buttered toast and 3 sides of pickles. Oh, since I remember when I worked there, we had a regular customer whose child wanted a pickle sandwich. Ah, gotcha. We'd ring up butter toast and 3 sides of pickles. Cool. How much was the 3 sides of pickles? Was a side of it free? As we wait for Sid to answer that. Higher salary or more stable job? I think I just talked about this. I previewed it basically where I give a fast answer to it without reading the entire thing, but let's read the higher thing, or let's the whole thing. So we're 29 and have 3 kids, house, cars, and all debt is paid off. Great. We have a $50,000 emergency fund and standard retirement savings. My spouse earns $55,000. As an accountant, and I work as a contractor online. Oh, for about 160,000. Okay. I was confused. How do you work as a contractor online and then like a private contractor for any type of field? It doesn't, I was thinking, house building contractor. How do you do that online? But I have to absolutely bust ass to keep, okay, great, to keep clients. And I hate how much time I'm spending working and stressing instead of being with my kids. Not to hashtag mention, there's the looming threat of outsourcing and downsizing. I got a job offer for a government position for $110,000. It's less pay, yes, by $50,000 a year, and in office, so I can't work from home. But I won't have to always worry about losing my job, and at some point you can. I believe the current administration got rid of a lot of employees, didn't they? Um, and hopefully it'll be more chill. That's 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 just funny. That's just funny wording there for. Here's what I want my job to be: chill. Would I be crazy to take the pay cut? What would Dave do? Flare. Let's see if there's any more other than the. There's not. Would I be crazy to take the pay cut? And that's it. No. And fortunately, see, the problem is, some people want to do this stuff. Why this same move? They want to do that while they have a mortgage still, while they're paying on car debt, and they have other debt, credit cards, etc., and no emergency fund. You have the emergency fund. You have all your debt paid off, so that puts you in a way better situation. And now I don't know your expenses, but if this will cover your expenses between you and your spouse, and you can still, I mean, are the kids in daycare? They're all school age now. Let's see, 29. Um, so I don't know. I mean, if they're in daycare, the 55 that the wife makes doesn't isn't that much, and may not be that much at all above what. Nah, I guess it's probably a little bit more than the childcare daycare would be. But like if they're in school and there's somebody in the house before they go to school, and somebody in the house to be there, assuming they're not, I mean, I guess they're not 13 and over. I assume that too, being 29. But we don't know that might come into play if there's daycare being involved here. But if all of your expenses are taken care of, and you can still do the investing, 15% of gross household income to investing, I mean, that's all you're doing. Because these people are on step 7. So that would be all you got to do is invest the 15% and do extra investing to build wealth, and do some giving is what you would like to do in step 7 as well. But being on step 7 makes it much easier to do this kind of move from 160 to 110. Now, will you be happy with it? Will there be something you don't like about that as well? Are you under false pretenses about the government job there, where there'll be stuff involved that will take you away from the kids more? You wouldn't think so. You would think most of the time that would be like a 9 to 5 thing. But you are in the best possible position to do that, and so you just need to check everything out. And of course, the main thing is that you can pay for all your expenses, and it's viable with if you have to pay daycare and such. It was 17-ish years ago that Sid worked at the Chick-fil-A, so she said it was probably free. As it said, he may add a lot of extra cost if he goes from working at home to driving into a job every day. Yeah, how far from the government office do you live? Good question, Aslan. That's good thinking. So check on all the expenses, right? Wear on the car, maybe someone to look after the children, right? If that's the case, since you worked at home, if you were the one that was there until they went to school and were there to greet them, when they came home. That kind of thing. Or maybe you were dropping them off and picking them up. What then? So all that would have to be figured out. So just need to think about it. But just from a pure money standpoint, as long as you can afford the expenses, step 7 is a much better place to do this in step 2. And in step 2, wouldn't advise it. Keep working. Your kids will still love you. You can still make time for the kids. People exaggerate a lot. Dry anxiety 1068. Now, if you work from home, you are seeing them probably more than you should be, more than the average father would see them. And so if you did go into a job, you would be seeing them less at that point. But it would be fine. Curious, has anyone taken 2 or more ideas from financial coaches and combined, and has it worked? Wouldn't recommend it. I'm sure people have. Matter of fact, I know people have, because plenty of people have told me, oh, I do like half Dave and half money guy. What part of Dave do you do? Dave's advice is no debt, and money guy is fine with, and it's 2 of them, so I don't know why they call it the money guy show. There's 2 of them on there. But they advise not paying off your low interest debt. So they advise debt leverage. Mr. Ramsey does not. How do you combine that? How are you able to enact 2 of those things at the same time when they are the opposite of each other? As I said, the need for office clothes, eating away from home for 1 meal a day. Yep. There's a lot of things to think about. And unfortunately, people do not plan that far ahead generally, and they make the decision based on one factor, such as this person. I can't remember what he said about it. It was missing the kids for one, or because he doesn't see his kids that much. Because he has to work more. Because he has to work more to keep clients, and so he probably wants to work 40 hours and bounce and clock out. But yeah, mixing financial advisors advice, again, it's no debt versus debt. And so how do you mix that together? You're not. If you're having debt, you're doing the other person's stuff instead of Mr. Ramsey's. So I don't know how you would do both at the same time. 17R Kerrigan. Student loan debt assistance. Hey, I'm 26 years old and looking for opinion on how to best proceed with my financial situation. Big fan of the 7 steps. Are you though? And have been following them for a few months. Okay. But I feel like for me, with my amount of debt, it's tricky. You're not an exception just because of your amount of debt. Stop trying to be precious. It's the same baby steps for everybody. Everybody does the same baby steps, no matter how old you are, no matter what your little debt situation is. Let's go ahead and open this. I feel like for me, with my amount of debt, it's tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, that's right on time. It's tricky. That's from the 1900s, kids. Monthly income, $6,800 monthly. Oh, monthly income, $6,800. Monthly expenses, $3,400. Doubled it, makes double it. Debt 1, $128,000 in student loans. Okay. Debt 2, and you got them in the wrong order because 14,000 is lower than 128,000. So that one should be first in your debt snowball. You're doing it wrong. Oh, the car loan is how much? Oh, $14,000 car loan. Yeah, so that one should be first before it. Currently save 5%, which is matched. Okay, so been following them for a few months. No, you haven't. You've been doing what you want to do. Probably the same dumb crap you were doing before, but just now you think you're on Dave's plan. No, you're not, because it's smallest to largest, first of all, so you would be making minimums on the student loan payments if they're all together. If they're a bunch of individual ones, you can have them in the debt snowball order wherever they come, like that. But so you're doing it wrong there. You're investing, which you're doing it wrong there as well. Paying off debt is step 2. Investing is step 4. You do not do step 4 before step 2 and then step 3 are both done. So you're doing it wrong. Just on board for a few months though. You know, maybe saw one TikTok video or something like that, and that was it. Maybe glanced at the baby steps, and that was it. And then thought, oh, I know how to do it now. No, you don't. You're doing it wrong. My real question is, should I truly just attack that debt or do some type of hybrid savings investment with the debt payment? So, you see, you said you're a fan of the steps. Do the steps say do a freaking hybrid debt payoff / saving and investing thing? No, it does not. Stop being dumb. You just want to do the same crap you've been doing. Stop it. It's going to take you several years to wipe out that out. Right, which is why you should follow the advice implicitly instead of, and that's with saving nothing. Right, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have $1,000 in savings before you start paying an extra on debt. I'd like to think about a ring in that time, and I have no savings. And if I have no savings, it's just more debt. No, there's no ring. Or a very, very cheap one. What's the ring for? A ring for you? I'm in a field where I will consistently get raises, so I will have more available to pay off in the future. You don't go by, I will constantly get raises in the future. You are not 100% sure that you will, and you can't base your budget on that. So the debt assistance, how you assist your debt is you pay it off, and you do not save extra, and you do not spend a whole bunch on a ring. If you want to get married and the ring has to be X amount of dollars, then perhaps that's not the right person to propose to. And you don't go into debt or overspend on things now because you will get raises later. So you're doing it wrong. You're not doing the baby steps. How about we learn all the baby, watch some more Ramsey shows, read the books, Total Money Makeover, George Camel's Breaking Free from Broke. And listen to it on Spotify or other Sirius, or you can watch it on the YouTube. There's a 24/7 channel now, and then you can learn how to do the stuff that you apparently don't know, because you're doing it wrong, or you just decided to do it wrong and pretend you're doing the baby steps, but you're not. You're not following them. You're not following them, or maybe you are following them, but like an Instagram, somebody on Instagram that you follow, but then you never look at any of their content. That's basically what you're doing. So that's a no. 17R Kerrigan, you're doing it wrong. Boom, boom, boom. They might do the financial order of operations emergency fund rather than the 1K. Yeah, I mean they could do anything, but I don't see the reason why you would do that. Why you would try to cherry pick from different financial people. This doesn't make sense to me. As I said, they could follow Dave's advice, except do the financial order of operations when you fund your 401k to the company matching limit. Some people don't want to lose that free money. Right. And if they don't, then don't do Dave's advice then. Easy. CJ Games, should I sell my car? And you don't need to ask anybody about it. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to ask anybody or put it in the Reddit to run it by somebody. You can just do the dumb crap you want to do and go with multiple financial advisors if you want. But apparently needed some input on it for some reason. Should I sell my car below market value just to get rid of it ASAP? Yes, probably, since you have to ask. Hey everyone, I'm in a bit of a tough spot and could use some perspective. I have a car that was on a lease, and in my country, you legally can't sell it until you pay off more than 50%. That's finally over. Oh, okay, great. So I put it up for sale about 2 months ago. Crickets, no calls, no serious offers, nothing. Now out of nowhere, I got a buyer who's ready to take the car tomorrow. The catch, he's offering noticeably below market value, lower than I'd normally even consider after standard negotiations. Is it more than you still owe on the vehicle? If you paid it off more than 50%, then you're not really losing any money. I understand you put a lot of money into the car, but that's just stupid tax for buying a car. Financing a car. That's your stupid tax for that. So if the idea is to sell it, it depends on how much you want to sell it. Let's see. Here's my dilemma. On one hand, I'm in debt, and having this car just sitting there is mentally exhausting. Well, no, it's not really. Because it's just sitting there. It doesn't make you, oh, I have that though. But I have debt. I want to sell that to pay it off. But yeah, I mean, deal with it. Deal with the mental exhausted stuff. I mean, it's probably not that doing it. It's probably more the debt that's mentally exhausting you. I'm scared it could be months again with zero interest. On the other hand, I know I'll feel guilty. With myself, guilty with myself, guilty with myself. If I give up too soon and I'll let it go for less than it's worth. Make up your mind. If there's a floor and that's too much, money given up, and you don't want to sell it for that low, what's the amount that you will sell it for? So, I mean, you should have already had that in mind instead of just thinking, oh, it'll sell for whatever I list it for first. No, it won't. Apparently. Still, I feel guilty with myself. You know, maybe not English as a first language. Maybe. I don't know. The crickets thing makes me think, English probably first. Let's see if I give up too soon. Let it go for. So what do you think? Should I just take the lower offer for peace of mind? If it will give you peace of mind, but you said you'll feel guilty with yourself, make up your mind. Or hold out and risk waiting and stressing much longer for a fair price. Yeah, hey man. I mean, I can tell you whatever, but I'm not the one looking for peace of mind here. I'll have peace of mind no matter what you do. So I would go, if it's a mistake, if it's not helping your life at all, if it would still, regardless, be more money to pay off debt, even if you don't sell it for market value. See, that money's gone. That money was gone the moment you financed it, my friend. So that was your fault, and now you're paying the stupid tax. So I would probably recommend, I mean, I don't know, I would maybe look at all the other numbers just in case there was something relevant about how much cheaper it is than market value. But other than that, if you want peace, and being rid of it will give you peace of mind and allow you to pay off more debt than you're able to pay off right now, then yeah, do it. Because you know, just keeping it, that's the same thing as throwing good money after bad. Aslan says the rain has stopped, so she's off to do some work, and she tells us all to take care. Alrighty, hope she takes care as well. 17255 is, this person is a number. Everybody here's a number and not a name. I guess that's all right with me. That would be Bruce Hornsby from Williamsburg, Virginia. Bruce Hornsby in the range, and that is what? Every Little Kiss is the name of that song. I think I sung that before on the after show way back in the day before I got monetized, when I would sing songs. Because it didn't matter. If you don't make money on it, doesn't matter if you use copyrighted content. Fully funded emergency fund, no house, no kids, paid off car, what to do? It depends what you want to do. Well, I mean, theoretically, after the full emergency fund, if you want to buy a house, step 3B, you could do that. Step 4, investing. Those sound good. Either one or both of those. Hey everyone, single 23-year-old active duty service member. Thank you for your service. And in one fell swoop, I speed ran like all the baby steps. LOL. I've never had any debt, still don't. And that makes it easier to speed run the baby steps. It's easy to run by a step if you don't have to do it at all. And the best one to be able to skip is probably step 2. I was able to dump $5,000 into my retirement fund and set up the allotment at 15% from my pay right off the bat. Great. My mom, you gotta make sure that's not in a pension, because then that 15% may not count as 15%, may count as less. My mom is a big follower of Dave Ramsey, so that's why I know about all of this. Fabulous. My only thing is, a lot of the next steps I can't do as active duty. I don't own a house, right? And that's advised to not do. You don't do that until you are out of the military, or until you're like pretty well guaranteed that you will not be moved from a particular city. As long as you're moving around, whenever they say for you to move around, no house buying. You just rent until then. Now you can spend that time saving money for a down payment for when you are going to be stationary. Already have money saved for that though. Okay. You mean, when you say you have money saved for that, does that mean to pay in full, or does that mean a down payment? So you would keep saving money so you could pay for it in full. And I don't plan on ever having kids, so I can't save for their funds or pay off a house, right? So you would just save up money. If you're going to buy a house one day, you just keep saving up money and pay cash for the house. My car paid off, and next one will be too. So like, what should I sub out baby steps 5 and 6 and 7 for? Well, you're on step 7 unless you're saving money for a down payment, which that's step 3B. So you would just be on 3B until you get out of the military, and you would just pay all cash or mostly cash for your house. Should I straight up now tell me? Should I straight up just get a? Now this is going to be a dumb 23-year-old crap, I bet. Let's see. Should I straight up get a financial advisor already? No, because again, well, okay. So if you are going to be a renter for life, that's fine. You're in step 7. Go ahead and get a financial advisor and see what's up. I don't know what else you plan to do with money. I don't know what other like investments you would want to get into, what other kind of savings you want to have, but that's all step 7 stuff. So the thing is, again, if you want to buy a house once you get out of the military, or if you're still in the military and you're guaranteed to be in one place, as well as they can guarantee you, because I'm sure things do change. I'm sure that could change. But I think there are times when, like if you're a general, maybe they're not moving you to different locations I mean, you're going on work trips probably, but you're not being moved out for months at a time. Generally. So yeah, but it sounds like you would like to have a house eventually, so you would just be saving for that. So you don't need a financial advisor for that. So again, 3B is what you're on. But if you are going to be a renter the rest of your life, you're on step 7. Congratulations. Again, thank you for your service. Where to put emergency fund, fluid ability 7641. Hi everyone, hi guys. Can people tell me where they leave their? It's THEIR, not THERE. There is a place, like you would leave it there. Not you mean there as possessive, which is THEIR. Hashtag 3rd grade. 6-month emergency fund. Some people told me they leave it in there. Again, I can't read that if it's gonna be one more there. I'm bouncing from the question. Checking account. I leave mine in a Charles Schwab money market account that I never touch. I just redeposit the interest every month and put the rest of my day-to-day money in my checking account. Is this reasonable? Yeah, I mean, they're fine with having it in a high yield savings account. So a money market account, I don't think would be a problem either. But my advice is always to put it in just somewhere in a local bank that you can go get it, or your spouse can go get it if there's an emergency. And so don't have a situation where you're the only one that can get to that money. And your spouse can't get to that money, because what if you're the one in the coma? And so emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer from some online institution that you have your money in just to make higher interest. But the Ramsey advice is fine. It's fine for Ramsey people to do that, according to them. So knock yourself out if you would like to do that. I just advise all my clients, and tell anybody who listens on this show, that's my reasoning for that. 11 cars in 11 years. This is justified. Yeah, nothing is justified. 11 cars in 11 years. It stops today. Okay, stopping that behavior, that is justified. Okay, my bad. And so I think I said this during the preview of this question. 11 cars in 11 years. With the second one, the next year should have never happened, much less 11 of them. 34 man, married with infant twin boys, have been a complete moron with my money for far too long. It's important to accept reality. That title is not an exaggeration, nor is it misleading in any way. We've all been morons with money. So I believe it. From 24, and especially the 11 cars in 11 years, hey, you don't need to twist my arm to believe you. 2014 to 2025, I bought 11 cars, all but the most recent one have had absurd card payments. I've always loved nice vehicles. You were always a moron then. You should not love something that is not a person. Always thought I work hard for my money, so I deserve this, right? Justification station. Yeah. Deserve what exactly? Exactly. Years of crippling debt and wasting money on depreciating assets. Exactly. My wife and I make a combined net of $9,100 per month and are barely able to save any money. Yeah. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. And it's my fault. Yep. Yesterday, I decided enough is enough. I'm going to lead my family with integrity and fantastic decision making. Yep, making. We are going to get out of debt immediately. How can you do that? My wife is, of course, on board. Great. Fabulous. Not that many people can say that, unfortunately. I traded my 2024 Bronco Raptor with a $1,000 car payment, $66K owed for a 2014 Jeep Wrangler with 138K miles, and now have no car payment. Okay, you probably could have done better if you sold and bought private sale, but what's done is done here. My wife drives a 2019 Altima that has been paid off since 2020. Great. On Monday, we're paying off her student loans in full. Okay, so this was moron thing number 2, and probably even more dumb than the 11 cars in 11 years even. It's a tight race, of course. You don't have student loan payment money where you could pay it off in savings or where you can get to it. You don't do that and still have the student loans existing. So you're doing it wrong. Those are 2 moronic things that you have done for sure. Glad you are working them. And this is Monday, so this is today. Yeah, this is today. They're paying it off. Great. Mine were paid off 6 months ago, and that will take care of all our debt besides our mortgage. Great. That weight has already been lifted off of my shoulders. Oh, the weight that has been already been lifted off my shoulders is invigorating. All right, great. I have always been stressed about making payments, and now that we have no debt besides our mortgage at $1,400, we will finally be able to save, invest, and breathe a little bit. Breathing is advised. It is necessary. Next step, save an emergency fund of 6 months. I am wherever you're getting the money to pay off the student loans in full. I mean, maybe they've been paying on it and it's just one last payment. Maybe it's not like a huge sum. My bad. I assumed that was my bad. Save the emergency fund in 6 months. I am so excited to get my time and independence back. Doing what is right for my family feels better than having some fancy black hole in the driveway. Indeed. The borrower is truly slave to the lender, not just with money, but with your soul. Deep. Edit, thanks for the feedback, especially positive and encouraging feedback. For those people who are so concerned about the Jeep, I will update this post when the Jeep blows up in my face, and we will see who has the last laugh. I'm really hoping it's me. Yeah. And besides, even if that Jeep goes bye-bye, and yes, because you bought it from a dealer, you paid more money than you should have for it. So hopefully next time you will do private sale to get a car and you'll pay less for it. But yeah. So, I mean, even with repairs, it doesn't even normally, I mean, some people have lemon cars, it does happen, but normally on a used car, the cost of the car plus the repairs is not as much as you would pay for a new car financed. And so that's why you shouldn't do that. And of course, it's debt anyway, so you shouldn't do it because of that too. Both reasons. Job searching advice. Key the zebra job searching advice. I'm an Uber driver. I make about 500, 700 a week. I could drive more, I suppose, but I'm scared of my car breaking down. Excuse me. It's a 2011 Toyota with a check engine light on and 220,000 miles. Sometimes the check engine light on is just because it's broken. The light or some sensor is broken, maybe. But so you see, you can go to the AutoZone or Napa or Advanced Auto Parts or one of those stores and get them to check to see why the check engine light is on, and that's a free service they offer in hopes of selling you a part. I have a bachelor's degree in supply, but not one in a check engine light. A CDL. I now hate driving trucks. Too lonely. I can't get a local job anyways. Not enough experience and a wacky chain of job experience over the last 3 years. Freight broker, trucker, server, Uber driver. Any advice? I can't even move out or save money with this income. Move out of where? Living with mommy and daddy? Yeah, 500 to 700 a week. Ooh, where your money going? Is this 2011 Toyota financed? Where's your money going if you live with mommy and daddy? So this is what, 2,000 a month or so? A little bit more than 2,000 a month? 21, 2,200 a month. Why can't you move out or save money? What are you spending money on? The normal kid or young adult dumbass that is living with parents. Still, far too long. Stuff. And so, so we have a bachelor's degree in supply. Why don't we get a supply job? If you have student loans, how about you work that supply chain jobs? I assume that supply chain is what it means. How about you do that, even if you don't like it, until you get some of your debt paid off? Because I'm assuming it's debt. Because again, if you're bringing in the over like $2,200 a month, where is that going that you cannot save money or move out even? So do you live in a high cost of living area? Hey, maybe you gotta move. Maybe you can't live in the same city your parents do. Maybe you don't make as much money as them, and so you don't get a pass just because you were born in that area. So we need to know a lot more. 21 comments, not going through all that to see if there's any more information, but would need way more information about where the money's going to, basically, would be the main thing that I would need to know. Need to know. Can't remember what that song is. I need to know. No, I can't remember. FLP Florida Finiac. Okay. Maybe Florida Miami Dolphins, maybe like FL Fanatic. Not Fanatic. Fanatic. Got it. Figured it out. So if it's a fin addict, it's like dolphin addict. Got it. Need a car. What can I afford? Hello, everyone. I've recently taken a new job that will require me to start driving to work again. I got a solid raise and my expected annual income should be around 150K, coming from approximately 100. I have 75K saved in an emergency fund, so checking account, and around 160 in investment and retirement accounts. Current cards are 2014 with 170K. Miles that I had paid off for nearly 8 years. Unfortunately, it no longer is reliable and needs about 8K worth of repairs, which is not worth it at all. Bull crap. Yes, it is worth that much. I mean, you instead of you, because you're not reliable, because you want a new car and you want a different car, so you're not reliable to say whether it's worth it or not. So ask a mechanic to take a look at it and let him know. Now, if it's only 8K worth that, and if you're going to pay more than that for a vehicle, then you should check on to see if it's actually worth it. So you saying it's not worth it, I'm not buying it. I don't believe you. 30 years old, single, and completely debt-free, don't own a home. 5 years ago, I was broke and had 30K in both student loans and medical debt, and after reading Dave's book, I hyper-focused. That's great. I still don't believe you about this car, though. Just because I know people, and most of the time, if I'm wrong, apologies, but I think you're full of crap with the it's not worth it. And so, guess what? See, the problem also is, okay, let's say that it's not worth putting 8K into, 8K worth of repairs, so it's not worth it, right? Okay, so that means you buy a used car then. That means you sell that one for scrap, sell that one as is, let somebody else fix it if they want to, or sell it for scrap, and then you put the 8K that you would pay for that along with whatever you get for the vehicle, and maybe a couple more $1,000, and you buy a car. You don't buy a $20,000 car. You don't do that. Not even a $20,000 used car. You don't need that. You just want that, I'm gonna guess. Let's see. Hyper focused on paying them off and saving whatever I could. I have been looking around at used cars, and the value just doesn't seem to be there for my needs. Boop, boop, doo. Called it, dude. Actually, for him, it's a beep, beep, doo. For me, it's a doo, 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 doo. Doo, 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 doo. It's the fun winning music from The Price is Right. I called it, dude. The value just doesn't seem to be there for my needs. This is the justification station part of it, where he wants a new car. Quit being a dumbass. He's being a dumbass is what he's being. I'd like an SUV. I don't give a crap what you would like. Like I currently drive, as I am a taller person and the room makes a difference. Tough crap. You can get a cheaper vehicle with enough headroom. I would prefer a hybrid for the fuel economy. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about that. Look at you up here. Where was it? 5 years ago, I was broke and had 30K in both student loans and medical debt. And after reading Dave's book, I hyper-focused on paying them off and saving whatever I could. You trying to buy a new car now means you're not being hyper-focused on paying them off and saving whatever you could. Now you're being that dumbass, that broke dumbass again, is what you're becoming again. Some people need to do that, though, before they finally learn their lesson. I've really been focusing in on a lot of focusing. First focusing on the Ramsey stuff, and now focusing in on the new car I want to buy. Toyota's RAV4 hybrid, as it completely fits my needs. Your needs are crap. You're making up your needs. You don't have any needs except you need headroom. what else do you need? No, it's you would prefer the hybrid, but you don't need it. So quit lying. You're trying to justify this crap. You're dumb. Quit being dumb like you were when you were broke. You're doing broke people behavior. Dumb. I have no desire to have a high trim leather seats, etc. Again, justification station, but I do want a new car. I do want a hybrid. I do want... Yeah, and that's want. That's not need. They are not needs. Shut up with the needs. The only thing you need is a car that works and you can fit your tall ass head in it. In my area, all of the dealerships are selling these and similar cars for 25 to 28K with upwards of 40K miles on most of them. I was quoted an out the door price on a brand new 2025 RAV4. See, justification station here. He said, okay, well, this is what I need. So, see, this is how it works. This is how dumb poor people are. This is how you stay poor. You're being dumb again. You were fine for a while, but now you're being a dumbass again. So see, now is the justification for, okay, well, since the used ones cost this much, with upward of 40K miles, on a brand new one is 33, so that's not that much. You don't buy a new car unless you are a millionaire. So, again, shut up with your dumbass crap. The whole thing has been justifying what he wants. It's not what he needs. Which seems like a very fair deal. It seems crazy to me that a 2023 with 80K miles is somehow only 5 to 6 less than a brand new one with a factory warranty. I don't care if it sounds crazy to you. That's what it costs, and the advice is still the same. The advice doesn't change because it's only $8,000 less. Or what was the other one? 28, 5.2K less for a brand new one. That doesn't matter. And is that after some freaking government rebate too for getting a hybrid? Anyway, since I've been so hyper focused these last few years, I find it hard to spend any money at all. Oh great, except on this new car that you want to buy, right? I need a new car, but struggle justifying spending 25 to 35K on one. Right, good, don't. I know Dave has 2 rules. I don't have vehicles more than, right? Equals more than half your annual income, which this is nowhere near, even if new. Okay. Right, so that part's fine, but don't buy a new car unless you're a millionaire, which I am most definitely not. Right, so that's a no. These aren't things, well, if I justify it, I can still do it. No. If you want to follow the Ramsey advice, it's no new cars unless you're a millionaire. Stop being a dumbass, just like when you were broke. Do you want to go back to that time? My issue is that I'm very pressed for time. How? How are you very pressed for time? Stop trying to justify it. Stop. I need a new/used car in the... See, leaving it open there. Throwing it to you out again. See, new still on the table for this person. I mean, just do whatever you want to do, and why ask then? If you want to not follow the Ramsey advice, you don't need to get permission in the subreddit. Because there's plenty of people in the comments that do not follow Dave's advice themselves. So, of course, they'll tell you you don't have to. And I'm even telling you you don't have to. And you don't have to ask for permission not to. In the next 2 weeks, as I will be starting my new job, then there is no way I can use my current car, and repair cost and time just are not worth it. If you say so, I'm not buying it, though, because you have car fever. So I'm not buying it. I would have a mechanic check that out. Don't trust yourself because you have car fever, so you can't be trusted. Can I afford a new car? Nope. Should I buy a new car? Nope. Someone talked me out of spending this much money for something that is going to depreciate in value. Talk your dumbass self out of it. You already know all this stuff. You just said you were broke. Apparently you didn't like it, so that's why you got out of debt. And now you want to do dumbass money decisions again. Mr. Ramsey, so you liked Mr. Ramsey's rules until it came time that you wanted a new car, and then all of a sudden you have a problem with it. Well, you're a dumbass. Buy it if you want. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But and it's also a slippery slope, because then if you do that, what other rule of his are you going to start breaking again? So I would be worried about that. And if I were advising this person, I would tell him to be thinking about all that. But I would tell him to have a mechanic check out that car, because it may be perfectly fine after that $8,000 repair. And also, guess what? If you had one garage tell you that it's going to be an $8,000 repair, maybe it doesn't need all that stuff. Maybe they are just making that up. And another mechanic might tell you, no, you need about $2,000 worth of work. See, and then that's a whole different thing. And then you have built up all this dumb crap in your head for no reason, because you only got one estimate on it, which was dumb as crap. Alrighty. Fun times. I was gonna say, yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday, I might do a thing like I did last week, where Tuesday and Thursday I sleep in and don't do an after show, but I do the 8 p.m. stream. So it's possible I'll do that again. We'll see. But I'll give you all the plugs and everything. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me. And regardless of your situation, I can always think of something that you should think about changing. I assure you. At least consider it. You can schedule that free consultation assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also use that email address for any other financial questions or anything about financial coaching or anything on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Itchy, need to shave. Alternatively to CashApp at $coachstevemoney, or a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, subject to change. The Ramsey Show show. Like I said, I plan to do it 11:05 a.m. That's when the after show would be, any day that I do it. Monday through Friday. But again, I might change Tuesday and Thursday and do a night stream instead at 8 p.m. Perhaps one or two being done at 8 p.m. instead, just like it says there. Answering your financial questions. Again, might be 2 during the week. Maybe Tuesday and Thursday. Too many dill pickle pepperonis, maybe. Maybe one or 2 of those during the week if I don't do an after show that morning, just like I said. Plus, though, this coming Saturday and Sunday, September 27th and 28th, actually, or Saturday and or Sunday, I'll at least do one of them, maybe 2 of them. This past weekend, I did 2, 8 p.m. Eastern Time streams. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And thanks if you so much if you have done those things before for me. Much appreciated. Oh my goodness. I typed too much stuff. I didn't realize I typed too many things in there, and so it couldn't finish the thing about steps 1, 2, and 3 being one at a time in order, and the 4, 5, and 6 being all 3 at the same time, but it's still in that priority order. Alrighty, so I'll have to try to remember to fix that. But as always, like the person that thinks they all of a sudden needs a car, needs it, and his car is not worth repairing, maybe not. Make smart financial decisions every day.